All right, welcome back. So, unfortunately, this is the first moment where I'm actually a little bit dissatisfied with this guide. I went through all the steps, but I think I didn't pick out my domain names right, and the guide has no direction into how to choose how to create domain names except for using free DNS and setting up your dynamic DNS to your home server. So I don't know if I'm supposed to buy a domain name. I don't know if I'm supposed to use a domain name, another domain name from free DNS. I don't know what information about that I should keep secret, or what information that I should hand out. I know there is one very critical piece of information on free DNS. You don't want to give the binding link between that dynamic DNS actually uses. If you give that out, you're going to get screwed over. If you give out your IP address, if you give out your domain name, you know, preferably you wouldn't give out those either, but you'll be fine. I mean, you do want to be able that to be publicly accessible so that you can point your VPN at it, or if you're hosting something, so people can go visit it. But there is a critical piece of information on FreeDNS .afraid.org or whatever that you do not want to give out. So I just feel like this part of the guide is leaving quite a bit to be desired because it just says for self-hosted email, you need a domain name pointed to your server's IP that allows you to add TXT records, A records, etc. And I don't see any instructions for doing that. Where does this domain name come from? Is it free? Is it paid? Um, the guide completely doesn't say anything about that. So let's do a quick search and give the guide the benefit of the doubt here, and see if that pops up. Yeah, so I got all the way down here. Um, yeah, it really doesn't say anything about what domain name you should add, which is I mean, this guide is meant to be written for the absolute beginner so that even your grandmother could do it. So your grandmother is not going to know how to get a domain name, what a domain name is, unless it's completely explained thoroughly, like it was earlier in the guide. That's kind of my main disappointment. Like if the scope was higher, then okay, fine. You should know what a domain name is if you're setting this up. But like in the beginning of the guide, it was very good about being clear about all that. Well, anyway, I'll pause it and be right back. All right, I'm back. So, yeah, I think what I'm going to need to do is go through and do all of this again. Um, Now, I did get through a lot of this and I got it up and running, but where I picked out a domain name is where it all went wrong. So let's just do a Control F for domain and then go through and kind of skim some of this, and then anywhere where I see domain name, let's go back and just try to fix it. So when prompted, so this right here, it doesn't give any information about what this is. Fully qualified domain name such as mail.yourdomain.com. Like I don't have a fully qualified domain name. Like where do I get one? Where does it come from? What's the advantage of one or the other? So yeah, and I remember I said dot local for one of my so I strayed from the guide as well, um, at some point, and that really didn't work so well. I'm pretty sure that was somewhere. I think that was setting up a virtual machine. Yeah, and then I think I also screwed up here because I deleted the volume. I think I just made a lot of small mistakes, and unfortunately, I think the guide like wasn't that clear. So, I mean, what we could do that would be pretty easy, I think, is just delete the virtual machine and recreate it, and we can start from step 7. Yeah, I chose a dot local for something that was a bad choice, so I don't even remember where that was in the guide. It was probably a long time ago. Yeah, here it is. So set your domain. Navigate to system general setup and set your domain like home.arpa or local. So now the thing is if you set local rather than home.arpa, which is what I did, you're straying from the guide. Some of the matches are some of the rest of the guide are not going to match. So this is where the guide's kind of being a little bit more difficult to follow because I wish you would have said something like I used home.arpa, but you can use .local or whatever if you want, but it won't match the rest of the steps of the guide, something like that. So this is the main thing that has been throwing me off is I'm not using the same domain, and also this word domain keeps popping up, but it's not made clear what it means in light of different contexts. And it's also not made clear. It says to enter your domain in, but I don't know what is my domain. Is this my domain here? I don't know. So let's go back and do this. So we're gonna go to pfSense admin. For some reason, it doesn't save it to the password manager, so I'll pause it and enter my password. All right, so my password is entered in. So next what I'll do is system general setup, and I'll change my domain here so that it matches the guide later on. And that's it. Yeah, so we can see the domain is local. So do not end the domain name with .local as the final part. It warned me right there. The local TLD is widely used by MDNS. Yeah, so right there, that was very bad. Alternatives such as home.arpa, local.lan, or mylocal are safe. So right there, that was a very bad decision. So this part of the guide, unfortunately, it leads you astray because you can't just do either or. You should read what it says in pfSense. It says using .local as the final part is not good. And then additionally, I remember you basically need a domain that is separated by two dots for as well. That helps as well. So if you just have one here, so that it's machine name dot domain name, and that's it. That's not going to be as versatile as machine name dot first part of the domain name dot second part of the domain name. So you want a domain name that has at least two parts to it like that. I might be just making that up, but I thought I remembered reading a message about that. So this is the first place I went astray. So hitting save, and I'm not sure if I'll need to hit apply afterwards, but we'll see. We'll see that it's still spinning here. So let's give it a little bit of time. All right, so it looks like the changes have been applied successfully, so we don't need to hit an extra apply. They apply automatically. All right, so already we're off to a better start here. So we saved it. So now we can use host names for all the devices, and now it's going to automatically resolve. So we might not need to just clear away and wipe a bunch of stuff. That little change there might have been enough. All right, so here's an explanation of how the uh, restoring from backups can be a lot easier. Here's an explanation of why to use a VM instead of just a Docker for everything. Why use a VM for some things and the Docker for other things? The answer is because some things work better on virtual machines and some things don't. So next is we can skip this whole section. Already covered that in a prior video, understanding the basics of Docker. All right, so next is configuring our servers for virtual machines. Let me see. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it said there was something else we could skip. I'm not sure if. Okay, yeah, so this is the part you can't skip. So now the thing is, I did this already, so I think it'll probably be fine. Yeah, I did all of this, so let's not just do it again for the sake of doing it again. I think that would cause more problems than it would solve. Okay, so then here, similarly, uh, yeah, so this is the Ubuntu ISO, um, putting that on there, upgrading the system, installing OpenBox and Virtual Machine Manager. We already got all those installed. Adding user. Okay, so I think we can start here. So first thing I need to do is SSH to, I need to open Bash, do this easier. And then SSH to my server. Oh, I hit 8.4 rather than 6.4. Well, I can just type in the command, not a big deal. Now I'm SSHing here to my virtual machine. Um, so I'm not sure if that's what's needed. Oh, you know what? That's no. They don't want me to SSH to the virtual machine. Um, okay, they want me to SSH to the actual server. So that will be .2. Okay. Um, and then the next command will be a start X. Okay, and then we can just leave that up for now. Uh, oh, we've got a permission denied, so let's do a sudo start X just because. Not that it will solve the problem. Okay, that did solve the problem. Perfect. So next, okay, so next we can do VNC viewer to get into the machine. I should have already history pipe grep VNC. Yeah, so I already entered that in there. Yep, so I'm on the right track. Oh, you know what? I think it's already. Huh, that's interesting. Huh, okay, well, I wasn't expecting that. Unable to connect to socket, connection refused. So I think we have to enter this command first because I think it's not listening. Okay, and I think we do that remotely through SSH. Okay, yeah, so this is the way to do it. Now we can open another one, and that command should work now. It won't refuse it because the port's not open. There we go. So now, yeah, so I was right. Perfect. So now we've got OpenBox running on there in the StartX, so we can right click and get some menus that show up in OpenBox. So let's rearrange this, which is gonna F everything up. All right, rearranging that skipped me up quite a bit, but all I had to do was scroll down. So now we can right click on this here and go to Applications, System, Virtual Machine Manager. Okay. So yeah, I don't have to just redo all this for the sake of redoing it. It'll probably cause more problems than it will solve. So we already created the virtual machine. We can see it's here and it's running. Um, yeah, so if we go to let's see here, connection details, I think. No. Storage. No. Oh yeah, you know what it is? It is connection details storage. Yeah, it's right. Yeah, so we can see all I've got here is the QCOW. I don't have the ISO. I don't know if that's the way to do it. I don't know if I was supposed to move the ISO from there or simply unmount the. All right, so I set up the virtual machine correctly. I think the biggest thing is I just didn't. Yeah, so I did all this correctly. None of this calls for domain names. We'll do a search for domain again, but that skipped us away. So let's try to get back to where we were. Oh yeah, so this is where we were. So we're setting up all this. That went by without a hitch. Now, post installation tests. I think there was an issue here. So let's close this menu here. Then we're gonna go to view. Oh wait, double click this. Perfect. Now we go to view details. And I think this is one of the first places where there was an issue. So if we look at this, if we go to SATA CD-ROM, under details, it's wrong. It doesn't match. Oh, but it does say to remove it. So I think it is supposed to be. Yeah, it is supposed to be no media selected. So I don't even know. This is another part where it's kind of unclear. Yeah, remove, uncheck, delete associated storage files. I think this is another place where I made a mistake. I think I might have accidentally deleted the associated storage files. Um, but yeah, so okay, and then I need to add a static mapping, change it to mill server, start a boot, did that. Okay, so now that we fixed that domain name, really I didn't make that many mistakes. The virtual machine is up and running, accessible through SSH. I did everything right. The only thing I messed up is it was unclear that using a .local for the domain name was not a good idea, but pfSense itself spelled that out in an error message. And in addition to that, the other thing was, oh yeah, removing the SATA CD-ROM went very poorly. I don't think I selected the right option when I did that. I might have deleted all the files, and then I think I kind of went rogue a little bit and removed a volume from the virtual machine. If we go double click here, uh, oh wait, where is it? So if we go to connection details, yeah. Notice how I only have one volume. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to still have that other volume on there. I just kind of went rogue and deleted it because I strayed from the guide and didn't really know what I was doing. So hopefully those don't come back to bite me the way that mischosen domain name did. But now that we fixed the domain name, we should be able to get a bit further. Okay, so I think yeah. So now this is the first sticking point I had is when I click on this because I strayed from the guide, it didn't actually go there. Oh, you know what? That's still a problem. Yeah, so I would like to. Okay, so yeah, let's change the mail cow domain because when I go here, it's still not working. So let's figure out how to change that. Yeah, so right here, generate configuration file. Let's regenerate the configuration file, and we're going to do it on the virtual machine. So let's SSH into the virtual machine at .3. and then set def5 now. There we go. Okay, and now let's generate that configuration file again. Oh, you know what? Maybe it's not on the virtual machine. I don't know where it is. Oh, you know what? I have to go. It is on the virtual machine. It's just the dot slash is a relative path, not an absolute path. So we have to go to OPT, uh, that Dockerized, and then there. So I think we do have to go to dot three. Okay, and then CD OPT. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Now it makes sense. Okay, so now we can do sudo, because the dot is a shorthand for this current directory, and it's relative. Sorry, it's yeah, it's relative, not absolute. So you can't just uh, if you take the dot out, then it's absolute, but it's absolute for the root, and this file doesn't exist at the root. So this is the right way to do it. Okay, yes, I do want to overwrite the config file. There we go. So now we're going to enter the FQDN. Now we know that it's mail server.arpa, or sorry, that's something.arpa. I don't remember. So let's match it to this, .home.arpa. Arpa. All right, time zone, uh, etc, UTC. Let's get that from ChatGPT. That's what we did last time to get the time zone. So enter in that screenshot and say, give me the time zone to enter here. I live in Austin, Texas. Okay, there we go. That's what it told me last time. And then we want to go with the recommended option, number one. All right. And now, uh, I think we're gonna have to probably restart the services. Yeah, otherwise they won't be applied. So we're gonna do sudo docker compose down, and I just know to do this because I've worked with Docker before on the job. Doesn't necessarily mean that I'm doing it right though. Okay, and then we're gonna re-pull them down, and then we're gonna do up dash D. Okay, and now it should be back up again with the new domain setting. So as a test to see if this works, we should be able to now just click this and go there automatically. But we do have to wait for all the containers to come up. Yeah, I created a loop, I think, where when it tried to take me to a different portal, it kept automatically redirecting me back to another one because I had my domain names set up incorrectly. So hopefully this will fix that. Aha! Look at that. So now we're good. Um, uh, oh, um, Please do not stop the stack while we are initializing the database or do preparations. Nginx cannot connect to an upstream server. Okay, so I guess these are not ready yet. So it just needs to give it a little bit more time. But that's a good error message because before it was just a it wouldn't even connect here. So this is a good message. We can look at some logs. Let's do that. Oh, we got to do a studio. Okay, so waiting for SQL. Still don't have that. Make sure your SQL credentials do fit your volume. So you have the wrong mailcall.conf. You know what? I do have the wrong mailcall.conf because I just generated it. Okay, so it's not connecting to the uh, okay, so I might have the wrong time zone as well. Yeah, so I use let's see exactly what I put in and see if that matches. Okay, so I did America slash Chicago. Maybe it's Chicago slash America. And maybe I put in spaces by accident. Okay, no, it is America slash Chicago. So I should have gotten that one right. Let's just see if I accidentally put in some spaces. So we're gonna put that in there. Nope. Yeah, so that should have been good. What else we got? Let me check something quick. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So yeah, not sure what this is. It looks like it's not yeah, so it's waiting for SQL. So let's ask the AI about that. The AI usually is pretty on point. Give it a new one. Okay, and then we'll give it another one here. And this might be too long for it. We'll see. Oh, you know what? It's not too long for it. That's really good. All right, so we check the logs. Let's try this again. Okay, now we can see if there's any errors in initializing it. I don't see any. Let's feed the logs over to ChatGPT. Okay, so the next thing would be to confirm that your credentials match your .env linked from. So I would bet that they don't because I changed my .com file by running that script again. So let me pause it and verify this off camera because we're dealing with credentials here. All right, I'm back. So the problem is very clear to ChatGPT now. So my container, SQL container, is fully healthy and operational, but I'm unable to source. So yeah, got it. So this it says it in the guide. After you have to set the permissions on your file, but because I regenerated the file, the permissions got wiped. So I need to go back and set up the permissions again. Yeah, so I skipped this step. Yeah, it should be Chmod 644. So there should be something in the guide that says to do that. I just skipped it. Yeah, it should be around here. You know what? It's probably this here. So yeah, let's go into let's set the permissions again. Okay, umask 0022. Um, and then let's do a okay. So now let's do a down and up. Or now that the permissions are set, let's see if that just fixes everything. It might. Okay, it didn't. So let's do it down and up. And let's look at the ChatGPT answer because I didn't really read that through very much. We'll do when this is done, we'll do an ls-l on milcall.com, and we'll see if the permissions match here. So here's the MySQL removed. So now that sounded like that's what the problem was. That container there. All right. So next step would be to look at that file. Aha. So yeah, the permissions are all wrong. Okay, now the permissions should be right. We can. This is just to check. So, oh, well, we should run this. There we go. So now we don't have an issue with that command because the permissions are right. So now we should be able to start everything again. And the thing is, I didn't have to stop them all and start them all. In fact, that was kind of a waste of time. You could just pick out the one specific one to bring down. That's kind of the advantage of containers. So I'm just doing it brute force, but you certainly don't have to do it that way. And if you were an admin, you'd never do it that way. You'd pick out the one container having issues and deal with that. Yeah, so this unbound mail cow is slowing everything down. There we go. But now we're good. So, okay, all the containers are up. So hopefully we've got a better result here. Ah, still a problem here. Okay. All right, well, let's do this command next. I'm going to do it off camera because we're dealing with credentials. All right, I can be back for a check-in. So yeah, sure enough, there's consequences of regenerating that file. So lot of things didn't match from one file to the next. Luckily, it automatically creates a backup for you, so I was able to just take the passwords from the backup and put them in the active. So, so it should work now. I do have some passwords up on the screen, so I'm going to go back into pause, but I should be right back. All right, I'm back, and we still have this issue where uh, Nginx cannot connect to an upstream server, or other services are not ready yet. We also have an issue here where if I enter these in, it says access denied for the user. Um, so so obviously there's a problem there. If we look at the logs, they're just going to say SQL is not working. Yeah, waiting for SQL. Um, okay, we can try it at the numbered address. Yeah, but we get the same issue. Huh. Okay, so I guess maybe what we could do is blow it all away. Um, so yeah, so I guess what we could do is uninstall MailCow and then reinstall it and use the correct FQDN this time and see if that works. So we can take all of this here that we used to uninstall to install MailCow, um, and then we can reinstall it and get it right and not be fiddling around with like transferring those passwords over because that's just a recipe for disaster. So uh, okay, I followed these steps and had an issue. I followed these steps and had an issue. Now I want to uninstall MailCow and start over again and reinstall it. Can you walk me through how to do that, please? All right, so the first thing we got to do is go into the correct path. We're already there, but I'll just do this again. Then we got to shut down everything. Okay, and then we've got to go into the delete all the contents. And I feel like I do want to completely yeah, so let's clean up the Docker completely. That might make it slower to get through all this, but that's okay. I've got a lot of time. All right, so now we're gonna go to /opt. I'm going to remove everything. Okay, we are going to prune the volumes, even though that's optional. Although I am worried that it's going to remove all stopped. Yeah, well, we'll see what it. Good. So it's just getting rid of the mail cow stuff. Okay, it hasn't gotten rid of anything else so far. I'm just worried it's going to get rid of stuff I don't want it to get rid of. But remember that this .3 is a fresh Ubuntu VM that we created that we've only done mail cow on so far. So if there is like we got to the Sogo step um, and deletes it, that's okay because we went back. We're going to be doing that step next. So like here's memcache alpine. Not sure what that is. Mail cow. That's good. There we go. So we got 3 gigs back. Perfect. So now let's go back to the guide and start here on step 2. We'll start fresh. So we got to go to OPT. We've got to now pull it down. Okay, now go to the say then change the permissions. Run the script. All right, and now we can enter the domain that is down here that they have and that I put in before. So we're gonna put mail server .home.arpa, and that is typed correct. For this, we're gonna have it be American slash Chicago, America slash Chicago, I think is what it was. There you go. No complaints there. Go with 1. That's the recommended option. All right. So there we go. Did all that right now. So now we do the poll. Then we do the up. All right. Poll's going to take a while because we're doing all this back fresh. So I'm not sure how long it'll take, so I'll pause it so that we're not just sitting here for however long it takes. All right, I'm back. So, yep, everything's been pulled. So the next step is to bring everything up. And we did that -D, so I'll get my CLI back when it's done, and we can verify it, and then hopefully things are better. All right, so let's see that the containers are up. And yep, we got containers up with container IDs. Looks good. So here's the real moment of truth. Same issue. Man. Okay, we do have a .env file there. I'm going to explore that off camera because it might have some passwords. All right, I'm back. So the env file did have passwords in it, but the passwords matched the passwords in the conf file. So I don't know. Maybe I just need to wait for it to um, for the services to come up. I mean, it says this is fine if Mailcloud was just installed or updated and can take several minutes to complete. So maybe I should just come back in 10 minutes and see if it's fine. Because we did get to this page, which is a step further. But yeah, I feel like that makes a lot of sense. Let me just come back in 10 minutes and see if it's up. Okay, so right now it's not even 5 yet, so I've come back around 5:15. That should be all the time it needs. I feel like this is probably the best way forward. I know it had me create a .bak file at some point, but I forget when that was. Oh, right, that's for the net plan. Okay. Yeah, it didn't have me do that for anything related to Milkow quite yet. All right, so that's the plan. I'm gonna pause it and be back in 15 minutes, and that should be all the time it needs. We did make some progress by being able to get to this page, but it looks like it's still coming up. Another thing we might be able to do is Docker ps-a, and yeah, so now we can see the status here, right? So um, maybe there's one that's not up yet. I mean, they all look like they're up. Okay, but I mean, the thing is, we know which container is giving us a problem. Um, I mean, the Nginx container, I think it said it had to do with that. So it's also calling out the my MySQL. So I wonder if there's a MySQL container. That's not up yet. But it looks like all of them have been up for 5 minutes, some even longer than that. So yeah, not sure what's going on. Um, let's just give it 15 minutes, come back and see if this problem is still there. So I'll pause it, be back in 15, and hopefully the problem just resolved itself. All right, welcome back. So I actually gave it more than an hour, and when I refresh it, I'll close it and reopen it. We can see it's still having the same issue. So I'm not sure that it takes over an hour, but I think this is as far as I can get for this video. Um, so stay tuned for the next one, and I'll keep troubleshooting this.